It is 6:30. This meeting is called to order. Do we have any additions or deletions? No additions or deletions. Okay, we will be approving the Selectboard Minutes for February 2nd, 2026. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion. Approve the minutes.
I will second that.
Please look them over. Are there any hearing? No comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to pay orders as of February 18th, 2026. These are them, Sandy? Are there any?
No changes, nope.
They're in the amount of $58,935.49. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve to pay that amount.
Do we have a second? Okay, please look them over. Now that Hubbard's price, how many months is that for?
Now I can't remember. It's
Just trying to get an idea of how much it is per month.
the winter rate is higher. I can't remember if it's, they're always behind in their billing, so it's probably 2 months if I have to
Oh,
go.
so it's probably for the month, okay.
Which one are you asking?
For a month. It could
I
be
was
more.
looking at the Hubbard portable restrooms
Oh,
at
okay.
the ball field and the transfer station.
Okay.
I guess together that's probably the monthly fee.
Oh, it's definitely a month. It could be more than.
It could be more than 1 month,
Yeah.
okay. So we're not sure if it's bi-monthly or
Okay.
every 3 months or what it is, but.
They
that's
get
the-
behind on their billing, so.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. All those in favor of improving the pay orders?
Aye.
Okay, road commissioners report.
It's right here.
Well, same old report, not a lot, but it's snowy and slippery as usual. But we've had a good winter for that. They did haul in a bunch more sand. I don't know where we sit with that now. The lake was open, I think, a week ago, and they hauled a bunch more sand in. So they've been using more of that than the salt because we've been low on salt, but we've been getting a little salt in as we need to keep that going. As far as I know, there's been no major maintenance problems, little things, hoses, shoes, stuff like that, but nothing major down there at all, so far.
So there was a charge on the pay orders for Earl's Garage. Was that one of the trucks?
No, sander. That was repair on the Volvo sander, I think.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I meant to.
It was the,
Here you go.
Earl's truck repair, battery cable, starter. Oh, it says here sander bearing.
oh, yep, sander. Yeah, they took the truck over there, then it wouldn't start. They left it outside overnight and it wouldn't start. So, yeah, that was all on the sander issues in the starter. Battery cables were bad.
Okay.
Okay, so we do this yearly. VTrans requires towns to report whether the select board has adopted the enclosed town road and bridges standards. This year, the state agency
Thank you.
and our jointly revised standards. There's a letter from A&R's Julie Moore explaining. And do we want to sign the certification of compliance?
So the road crew and Phil have looked it over. They're already doing most of that anyways, which is mainly the upscaling the culverts.
And the upscaling, the culverts, we've already done.
Right.
We stopped using the black culverts, I think 5 years ago, because we were having a collapse issue with them. They were in the road, they were just they weren't holding
Okay.
up, so we went to the heavy duty,
Okay.
put those in.
That looked like the only real change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Then are we good with signing the certification of compliance?
We are good. My consent is great.
Great. And then, do we want to explore hiring a project manager to oversee the sand shed replacement project, as well as securing state local permits?
Yeah.
So,
It looks like the permit navigator link is broken.
but didn't you get through the permit?
I did,
application?
after I'd written that, a few days later it was, and then I forwarded to all of you.
That's right.
So, yeah, I did send A&R floodplain and the wetlands that question
Oh,
about.
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, the construction, newer replacement, so
Yeah,
they'll
right.
answer in the next few days, but.
Okay, so we still haven't gotten an answer yet.
But it does say on Agency of Natural Resources site that you can use the permit navigator to see what permits you need, but you're still responsible for getting all the permits, whether it says it or not.
Whether it says it or
So
not, that's the way
it's
they
kind of
cover
a
it.
guide, but not the definitive answer. so.
I'm, like, I don't know, my impression is that maybe we need the professional help to get us through the permitting process. I'm not sure we need a project manager for the construction.
Sure we do either. But it, like he's saying, you know, the permitting is, there's so many loopholes in the
Yeah.
state right now.
And like, you pasted something in, Sandy, about Bennington that missed a permit and got fined $20,000 or something.
Yep.
Then can we hire somebody for the permitting process?
I mean, you know, we're gonna do the foundation in this phase and then the construction in this phase. I mean, if we don't, maybe we get a price from a couple people to see what just permitting and then permitting into construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
looks like.
think I'd like to see
Like,
that.
who would you, what, some engineer or something like that, or?
Have we ever
And
hired a project manager?
Well, I'm not something like, we have a project manager for the sidewalks.
Yes.
And we're doing that, but not for construction. So I don't know. I mean, we've had,
Probably a good idea.
I think we've had somebody in Rutland, didn't we email back and forth with an engineer in Rutland about the sand
Yeah,
shed?
I think we did, and I don't know if did we talk to him about like being a project manager, but not on this fully engineered $1 million project, but just as a project manager for just a relatively simple construction job?
overlooking paperwork and also,
Yeah,
you know, structural.
Maybe we can just, and then
Designs.
Anthony Ferrui's not around here anymore, but he used to be on the building committee. He's an engineer. He's up farther up north.
okay.
I've been in contact with him. Maybe he's willing to travel a little bit, do some of it online.
Yeah, yeah.
Come down occasionally, just,
Didn't we talk with Du Bois and King?
yeah, yes.
With
I
who,
think that was
Kathy?
one of the.
Du Bois and King
Okay,
is who we talked to get some ideas of how we should go about this project.
Right.
because I think I don't know, if you get the permits done, and it may be even after the foundation's done, the building's gonna go up in a week or something.
Yeah, and the concrete's not the issue, it's the permitting. And
permits.
the state should be able to tell you what you need without
Having
you chasing your tail running around.
Right.
They should be able to tell you what you need in
Right.
Well,
permitting.
Well, I think
the
like
state is
Agency of
putting-
Natural Resources will tell you what they need, and so will floodplain manager, but then over here's Act 250, and there's not like one person that
Oh, I
can
know, that's
tell
the
you
problem, is,
everything.
you know,
And that is the problem, and it's not just within this realm, it's like, we're dealing with some, state retirement things, and things are falling on us that probably shouldn't be falling on us.
Yeah.
But I think that's how the state is handling things. They kind of give you information, and it's up to you to follow through.
they should,
So I guess I'm leaning towards looking to maybe hire someone who at least get us through the permitting process, and, if someone's willing to do
Yeah,
that.
and if we get some prices on that, then we can sort of decide which direction we want to go
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll work on that.
Do you know how we go about funding this person?
Well, I just think we'll just put out some feelers and then we might just have to put together a RFP and once,
And I think if we reach out to Du Bois and King again, they
Yeah.
can, even if they don't do it, they can probably give us some names of people who do.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
perfect.
Phil, is there anything else to
Nope,
report?
I'm
this
all
evening?
set.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
That was a quick one.
Yes.
They're not always so quick.
I know.
Wait, thinks of something.
It's Tuesday.
Moving on to honorable mentions. Honorable mentions, Art Nemeth and Jerry Reynolds for operating the transfer station in sub-zero temperatures. Rotary members for donating use of their building for a 5-town emergency response planning forum. Wallingford Village Market for providing lunch at the forum. And Glenn Mayer, Bill Weiss, and Jim Bagnell for representing Wallingford at the forum. Thank you very much. We have some public here this evening. Is there any public that wants to speak during public comments? Yes?
Well, I'm not the first on the list, though.
I mean, is this
Oh, no, that's just-
outside an agenda item? Do you have something?
Yes,
to-
is this outside the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just here to say how pleased I am with the road crew, the job they're doing, and the guys at the transfer station.
Would you mind stating your name?
I'm Ron Bushy. I was a selectman when he was a selectman, another century ago.
You came back for more.
Couple of graveyards.
And there was 5 of us back then. Is there 5 anymore?
There's still 5, but we have one who's not here this year.
Yeah.
So, to add to that, the road crew, I live at the top end of Old Pine Lane. I've been there for 45 years or whatever. And it seems like every time there's snow, that thing is plowed out every morning, early in the morning. I don't know what time they get up or start or whatever, but
Start
they
early.
just do an excellent job. And I want you guys to know that.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then Artie and Jerry at the transfer station, I just think we're a lucky town to have them doing what they do.
Very lucky.
They're
Correct.
friendly, they're professional, they know people, they make you feel very comfortable. And they treat the dogs real nice. They know what vehicles they can put their hand in to give them a treat and which ones they can't. So, I have a little dog, Peanut, who loves to go there. When we get closer to the transfer station, she starts getting excited. She knows where we are. And in the summertime, I put her on the tailgate, and she's there stomping her feet, and the guys come over to bring her a little treat. And they gotta break it up for us because she's so small. They gotta break it up. And if they don't come quick enough, she starts barking at them. Funniest thing in the world. But they're great. They're great.
Wonderful.
Working in the coal, like we were saying earlier.
Exactly.
But just the way they're very professional about everything, I think. And you can joke with them, or I can anyways, and they got pretty thick skin. Jerry once in a while gets a little thin, but no. All right, so that's pretty much what I want to say.
Well, thank you.
And I'm not staying any longer because I gotta get home.
I'm going to Peanut.
All right?
Well, have a good evening.
You got any questions for me?
No questions at this time. We'll let you know.
Thank you.
very much.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Sorry, I'm back to you.
That's right.
You're right.
Here on.
Do we have a call yet?
He's gonna call at 7, but I think maybe, I mean, we could either move on to like, I'm thinking we could do 9, 10, or freedom, the proposed resolution, the CAA, property maintenance, and the tier 2 report. We probably
Okay.
could get those 3 in before.
So why don't we then sort of adjust our agenda?
So we can go to proposed resolution?
We're gonna go to proposed resolution freedom of press. And so, we have enclosed, an email and draft resolution regarding freedom of the press and the importance of print journalism he would like the town to adopt. He's sent similar emails to towns across the state. And he would like us to adopt this. So let's take a look at this. There. Was there an email that went with this?
Is it in this packet, Sandy? I know I've read it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, it is in the packet.
It is? Where do you see it?
It's
Oh, yeah, it's where-
after all of the
After all
stuff for the
this?
highway stuff.
Okay.
Page 44.
There you go. It's that darn tier 2 report. Yes. It's 44.
Yeah, I can't find it.
Here.
Pretty long.
I'm skimming.
It's been
I'm
Just
skimming.
kidding. I can give you a summary.
Okay. So, what, have other towns adopted this?
I'm not aware of if anybody's adopted or not yet.
So we,
So, I mean, it's basically, he's advocating that there's a tax on social media that will then somehow be used to fund local journalism, which,
Is this the freedom of the press resolution you're talking about?
Yeah.
yeah.
So how can we tell a business that they can't pass on the cost of the tax to consumers? How can we do that?
It seems like not really that well thought out to me.
Okay.
I mean, I appreciate the sentiment, you know, supporting local journalism, blah, 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 but it seems like kind of a wonky thing. And then, so there's the select board's representatives then have to form this other committee to decide how the money's gonna be spent. It's,
okay.
I don't know, I appreciate where the guy's coming from, but it doesn't really seem that feasible a solution.
Okay. Yeah.
Could I ask a question?
Yes.
Is there some place that the public could see this letter?
Has he put this out?
He emailed it to a lot of towns.
He's emailed it to towns.
I mean, here's.
It seems like if it's emailed to towns, there could be some town input, correct?
Sure.
Yes.
It can be. I hope so.
I mean, I just put it on town stationery in case they wanted to adopt it, but that's his wording on everything.
Does anybody else want to see a copy?
Yes.
I would agree with you, Glenn. I think the sentiment is in the right place, but I don't know how feasible it is to actually do this.
Yeah,
Sounds very overreaching to me.
it does.
It sounds unconstitutional.
And
About that.
I don't know how how the logistics would work with the tax on social media, and then the select board members would vote for a statewide panel to decide where that money goes. It's
Yeah.
a little wonky.
And also, can a resolution do that?
Yeah, well, I think it's to send a message probably to our legislature, but I don't even think this is something they're considering. I don't.
Right. Okay. We can just take
Yeah.
no action.
So it sounds like we're leaning towards not adopting this resolution.
That's how I would go with it.
Okay.
Can we do that by consensus?
I think we can do this by
Okay.
consensus.
Yeah, you can just take no action.
Okay.
No action.
So then we're going to take no action on this at this time. Moving on. So that was freedom of press. Now we're looking at letter to VTrans regarding.
I think we've got people coming for that one, so
Oh, so we're gonna wait on
maybe
this?
the CAA technology.
So the
Probably not.
CAI, then we're just doing one half of 9. We're gonna leave the other half of 9 on the agenda.
Okay. The 10,
CAI,
number 10.
number 10.
This is just table
This is
from
the-
last week until you got the answers, which I sent out to everybody.
Right.
I think we were okay with this, except for that he had NA on a
Those
couple
two
of
NAs,
points.
right.
Clarified what those were.
Yes. Okay. All those, is everyone good with accepting the CAI?
What is this now?
This is the CAI technology, property mapping, we got answers to the NAs. Are we good with that?
Oh,
Okay,
That consensus.
we are good with that.
Okay. And then the tier 2 report we could probably get done.
Tier 2 report.
So that we have to do this every year with all the hazard chemicals at the garage. And each year I give the document that's in your packet to the road crew and Steve to look it over and see if they've added any, changed any, reduced any, and then it needs to be submitted. Charlie brought it back today and Steve signed the exact same thing that's in your packet.
Okay. Are there any questions, any more information we need? No? You're good, Rob?
Yeah.
Okay. We're all good?
Okay.
Okay.
So we could try calling him.
Okay.
I think if you wanna push talk and I can give you his phone number.
Great. Are you gonna call first or do I hit talk?
Yeah, you can call. Just call him right
I
there.
just hit talk?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I need to do that again, off. Do it again.
Oh, you get a dial tone yet?
I don't have dial tone.
Hit talk first.
I ended it.
Oh, okay.
1802?
281 9982. It's Jason.
Okay.
This is the gentleman that's doing the boy with the boot replica. He had some questions as he's working. He's already done the 3D scan, and so he has some other questions.
Good evening. This is Kathy Luzada, the Select Board Chair of Wallingford. How are you this evening?
Good, how are you?
Good. Are you good to speak right now? I know it's a little early.
Yeah, if we go early, that'd be great. I apologize, I got a cold recovering, so if I lose my voice or cough, my apologies.
Okay. And this is Jason, right?
This is.
Wonderful, okay. Well, we have your questions, and then you got answers.
Perfect, yep, I got to review those.
Great. Okay. Does anyone have any
So,
questions?
because Bill Lawson said they needed like a little, he needs to be able to replace a 1/4-inch piece of piping in there.
Jason, you got the email that I sent you from Bill Lawson, the plumber, right? On the water feature?
Yeah, I got both of them with the information, and that's really, that's all the info that we need to get started. So instead of us kind of building the channel to carry water, we'll build the channel to have a tube pass through it. So that's all great information, and that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
So that's how that's gonna get addressed.
Okay.
And then Jason had answers for all the other Jason got answers for all the other questions and came up with responses to those.
Yes, makes sense.
Yeah, as long as everything that was in red in the email is what you guys are okay with, that's great. That answers pretty much everything for now and to get us through this portion of the project.
Are you folks happy with the answers in red that
Yeah,
Charlie
I'm
gave?
just reading them
I was
right now.
happy with the answers in red. How was everyone else?
Good.
Good? Yeah. Okay.
Jason, do you have some idea how to secure it to the fountain? Because the previous one was not.
Yeah, so obviously there's going to be a massive weight difference between, excuse me, the solid metal one and a plastic reinforced. So we can certainly look into kind of copying the same concept. Just do a metal chassis base with maybe 4 fasten points. If it's going on concrete, you could do Tapcons. something to hold it down, but we're happy to work with the town, whatever works. We have metal fab capability, so we can weld something up.
Okay, that sounds good.
And it's that where we'd be able to remove it in the winter?
And we'd be able to remove it in the winter, right, correct?
Yep, exactly. So you'd have 4 bolts, basically. Those bolts would be removed. We use stainless. I would recommend stainless so you don't have any corrosion issues. Just take the 4 bolts out and put it in the storage for the winter and bring it back in the summer and put your bolts back in.
Perfect.
It would be a lot lighter to move.
Yeah, it should be a lot less. It will be over the 65 pounds originally because we're adding a metal frame to it, but it's still going to be much, much less than the original.
Excellent. Good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, that sounds great. Jason?
So Jason, you don't have any other question? You got this email with the answers, you don't have any other questions?
Nope, at this time that was our real hurdles to get over so we can get through this kind of modify the model so we can get into production, and then we'll touch base as soon as we get through that, and if we have any questions along the way, we'll reach out.
Okay. And what's the time frame we're looking at now?
Oh, we still got a lot of work in front of us. So the 3D scan's obviously complete. I don't know if you guys saw the previews of it. We've done all of the base work to the model. So we've done all the cleanup, combined all the models into one created solid body, which lets us then edit them in our editing software. We've started the rough channeling for the water. Now we need to make some adjustments to fit a different style tube through it so we can slide that pipe in, but not a huge deal. So we're getting through the digital modification portion, and then we'll get into production. And there's many hours of production in the plastic portion. So we've still got a long road ahead of us, but we're doing good.
Okay.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much.
Awesome. All right, guys. You have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon.
You too.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. Yes.
Thanks. You. Goodbye.
Bye. Okay, well, there we go. Replica is moving forward. Okay.
I think everybody's here for the residency.
Yes, I think we're good to start. So our next item is Recreation Committee appointments, status of residency requirement. I have some talking points that I would like to state first. I think the majority of people here are about this topic. Okay. So I will go ahead and I will say a statement, and then we'll get into discussion on this. I'll open it up to Brian after I've said my opening remarks. Wait, now let me find this. Okay, so last meeting we appointed someone to the Recreation Committee. There is a question about that, about why this happened after this person had been not approved before. So just to recap, when we discussed this, I really did not personally know which Recreation Committee members had issues with this particular appointment. I didn't know if they were still on the committee or not, honestly, so I did not think it would be an issue, but because of that. And also with the new information that was brought to light by the person appointed, I was under the impression that there was something within the bylaws that kept non-residents from being on the committee.
There can't be.
So that is the first thing. So there is a statute that says that because the state has turned over all recreation appointments, whether it be a director or a committee or a panel, over to the town, there is no state requirement for residency on the Recreation Committee. So it can be someone who is a non-resident, and that is through state statute. There is also another state statute that says, it's VSA Title 31, Chapter 5, Statute 203. The Select Board may appoint members to a Recreation Committee with terms not exceeding 1 year. So that means that even though the committee can recommend members, ultimately it's the Select Board that appoints them. Now, the Recreation Committee, as I just said, can give recommendations, but only if they have enough members to reach a quorum, which is 3 when you have a committee of 5, like our current Recreation Committee. Now, up until the last, well, there has been 3 members for a few months now, correct, Sandy? But they have not been able to find a time to meet, so they have not had a meeting because they haven't been able to reach quorum with the 3 members that they've had. So at our last Select Board meeting, that means we've had 2 openings on the Recreation Committee now for over 6 months. 2 people came forward, wanted to be appointed. One was a resident, the other was not. We had discussion, the resident was appointed. The non-resident had tried to join the committee in the past, but wasn't able to because of non-residency. They researched this matter and they found out that there was no residency required for this committee. With that information, along with the fact that this non-resident participates actively and enthusiastically in other Wallingford organizations, Rotary, Wallingford Day is actually the chair of Wallingford Day, which, by the way, is a subcommittee of the Recreation Committee. She was then appointed to the Recreation Committee. We felt that the Recreation Committee, which now has 5 members, should probably be enough to have at least 3 of them be able to make regular meetings and be able to decide things once again with these appointments. We understand that there's a concern of non-residents making decisions on how resident taxpayer money is being spent. We understand in principle the reasoning behind this concern, but in practice, the money really can't be mishandled. Money for the Recreation Committee, they present a budget to us the year before its use. This amount is decided by a committee. It's not decided by any individual member. The Select Board then takes this request and then they decide how much of that money the committee is actually going to receive, dealing with whatever's going on with budget overages or whatever for that year. Most of the recreation budget is non-discretionary, so even though there's a large amount for the budget, most of that goes to salaries and to expenses that have to be covered. There's actually a very tiny fraction of that budget which can be used for miscellaneous purposes. The committee goes ahead and lists out what they want to spend in each category, and that's their budgeted amount within their budget. And they also, if it's a large purchase, they have to follow the purchasing policy of the town. That includes bid requirements and approval for higher priced items. I doubt that the committee would ever approve an expenditure that did not benefit the residents of Wallingford, whether there was residents or non-residents on the committee. And if it ever did, that expenditure would not be approved by the Select Board. The individual in question has deep ties to the town of Wallingford, grew up in this town, and has an apparent concern for the town's growth and well-being. Seeing that not enough Wallingford residents have stepped up to make a complete committee, we decided to appoint this non-resident. I think in the past we said other things. Honestly, I didn't remember that at the time of this meeting. Who we are sure that this person would be very helpful to this committee. Just a reminder, the Recreation Committee is responsible for organizing 2 work days to help prepare the recreation fields in Elfin Lake for the busy spring, summer, and fall seasons. And it's also responsible for organizing the Memorial Day Parade in in May. That's a lot of volunteer work. And with the new appointments, the committee is finally full. We'd like to thank the Recreation Committee for all its work that it does to benefit town residents, and we look forward to what it decides to do in the future. So, I hope that answers some points, and now please present us.
Not particularly. As you're
Can
aware,
you
David.
introduce yourself, so just everybody knows who you are?
Hi, I'm Brian Ferguson on the rec committee. I'm here representing myself as well as David, the chair of the rec committee. He's voiced concern to you directly. He sent me your emails. He's also voiced concerns to you. At this point, we're not certain emails get from you to the board.
They do.
And back and forth. If they do, you should have been well aware of the ongoing issue with non-residency and with that appointee for over a year now.
Okay.
Over a year. So, and what really has got us really frustrated is how this was done. That's really the frustrating part. So, I have an email here from Sandy from 4 years ago, over 4 years ago, describing the policy and procedure for how members are appointed to the select board.
To the select board?
Yes, so the rec committee makes a recommendation
Right.
to the select board, the
Right.
select board then votes on them. Described as policy and procedure. I have older emails describing the policy and procedure from that as well. I have another email from this year regarding Heather Johnson, speaking of just that, and I'll read it to you. And it's small, sorry, I should have made this a little bigger. All right. Rec would then make a decision about the recommendation of the appointment of the select board. Please email me when the rec board decides. The select board will act on the rec's recommendation. That's June 24th, 25th. Or, I'm sorry, July 24th of last year. So then comes the meeting. This was 3 times, by the way. I have 3 times the rec committee made a recommendation not to put her forward as a member. 3 different times. 3 different times. Over a year, 3 different times. Same person, over a year, 3 different times. So then comes the meeting, and I've read the minutes, and you cite 2 things which is really our concern here. We're quite concerned about this. Because you spoke about statutes. So the statute for the state regarding the rec committee is advisory. Many towns, right here in Rutland County, set residency requirements for rec committee. Many do. So it's advisory. Okay. But what the statute does say is the select board is required to follow your policy and procedure. In this application, you did not. You did not.
It says that, what statute is that?
I don't have it written down.
Oh, well, I need to see it.
Well, I'd be happy to get for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is policy that, and procedure that the select board has to follow their procedure.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was the procedure, and we wrote it off, calling it historical precedent in your last meeting. So we took what has been a policy and a procedure for years, come to the meeting in question, and now we make it, well, historical precedent was. It's no longer policy and procedure, it's now historical precedent. And then the other thing you cited was quorum, that we did not have a quorum. We met many times regarding this, with a full committee. Right, it's like, I'm not sure where the information breakdown occurred, but it definitely did. So I also have our minutes from January 16th of last year. That was a long time ago. January 16th, full committee, 5 members.
Whose minutes are they? The select boards? Or
No,
the recs?
the committee's meeting.
Okay.
Committee's minutes. Discussed revised, so we've been working on bylaws for some time. It was something Shannon had been doing. And those of you that would like to comment on why there aren't members, you should probably direct your questions directly to the select board regarding the last 3 resignations. Okay, directly over here. All right. Discussion revised bylaws. So Shannon had been working on the bylaws for a while. She wanted to change from 5 to 7 members. so that it would make it easier for us to find a quorum of 3.
How is this pertinent to,
You can direct me directly, and I'm gonna get right there.
I'm talking to her. I talked to her.
I'm citing,
Okay.
How is this pertinent?
in your minutes, you cited your decision based on us not having a quorum. I'm going to read to you in our minutes on January 16th that we had a quorum.
Okay, we
But you
misunderstood then.
Well, it only takes listening.
Huh?
Only takes listening. So, Shannon had been working on bylaws to change, also to change residency, to add to 7 members, and it was a good one to add a youth non-voting member. It was a good idea.
This is not.
So the group discussed the option of having one person from an adjacent town on the board.
This is not the residency issue.
Can I finish?
This is about, what those persons wanna do, and.
This is about the select board's failure to follow their own policy, and here it
We made a
is.
mistake putting her on. We didn't.
Can I finish?
Please finish. I have a remark to make to what you're saying.
Alright, so it's not too long, but the group discussed the discussion of having one person from an adjacent town on the board, as well as increasing the size of the board. Most members were concerned about the precedent that allowing people from other towns would set. It was 4 of 5. The only member that wanted this was Shannon. Okay? Non-residents on local boards have been a big issue in the past, and given the Recreation Committee oversees the budget and manages land, most felt it would be difficult to justify having a non-resident on the board. All members were okay, and this is what we've offered for 3 times now. All members were okay with having non-Wallingford residents participate in discussions and attend meetings, but were cautious about adding non-residents to voting membership.
Are we,
I'm sorry, I just got to flip the page. There's only 2 more sentences. The board agreed we could formalize having a non-Wallingford resident as a non-voting member, as we have discussed in the past, and that has been what we said all along. Like, it's great, you want to volunteer, it's perfect, we could use the help, you can sit on the board as a non-voting member. That has been the plan the whole time. Shannon will review bylaws to remove the non-Wallingford resident member, and we'll discuss the remaining changes at the next meeting. So, that's regarding quorum. So I also received many emails, one from select board member Ann, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Awad.
Yep.
Citing that the committee didn't understand the bylaws. So I did reply to her. I see she's not here. I was hoping to respond to her directly.
Okay.
Quite aware of the bylaws, quite aware that that wasn't in there. We've been working on it for a year. We had 3 resignations over drama, and that left us without a quorum. So we were able to find new people, and we're just picking up the baton now. And then we cite things that are inaccurate in the meeting to justify passing the member, and that is the frustration.
so, to talk about inaccuracy, I was sent an email by a Recreation Committee member after our last meeting. I responded to that email, and then that email was taken, information was taken out of that email, and then inaccurately posted on a public forum about this evening's meeting.
Okay?
So inaccuracies are happening, I guess, not just in one realm.
I
but
did
in
make
other-
it inaccurate regarding the planning commission, which I updated publicly. It was my understanding. It was incorrect.
And it was incorrect.
Yes, and I updated that publicly, so maybe you didn't see that.
I'm glad that you addressed it this evening, because there could have been people who read that first one and did not see your correction and did not hear that that information was reported incorrectly. And I was very bothered that my email was taken and presented in such a fashion.
Well, I have to say, in speaking for David, he is far more frustrated than I am regarding this, and I'm sure you were able to ascertain that in his emails.
And I did put at the end of my email that if there were any further concerns, to please reach out to me. I was not reached out to again.
He emailed Sandy all week long.
And I was not approached, even though I said that I could be approached. So, with that said,
And
At
I'll
this
tell you
point,
that breakdown in communication is.
I am now
going on.
responding. I let you speak. I am now going to respond to what you said. what you said about quorum, there had been a quorum, but at the time that we made this appointment, there was not a quorum. When the appointments happened at the last meeting, there was not a Recreation Committee member here. There could have been a Recreation Committee member here, and some of that probably could have been cleared up at that meeting. Now we're sort of backtracking or retracing, and that's part why we have the situation that we have right now. Does anyone else want to say something?
I do, yes. Much as you want to think so, the Recreation Committee doesn't decide who gets on the board. We do. That's just the fact. You give us.
The policy and procedure that we've worked off of for years is just that.
And may I say that back in 2018, the Recreation Committee did have a member on the Recreation Committee who was not a resident.
Okay.
So it's not been one set policy with the Recreation Committee. It was a policy that you did have with the Recreation Committee. Because so many members transferred over, the committee has changed. When Shannon said most, she did not name who was there. It's not for us to guess. It's not for us to guess. You read, Brian, that said most. It did not give the number. It did not give the number of the members who did. So for us to not, and that's really not up for us to guess which members did, which members didn't. We made the decision at that time because you do have another vacancy on the committee. You can use someone else. Another Wallingford resident has not stepped up to fill the rest of this committee. I do hear what you're saying about policy. Does anyone else have anything to say?
Could we give maybe some other members of the...
Oh, sorry,
No.
sorry, Mr. Barker, please continue.
You're in error to think that the select board has to do your suggestion. That's an assumption.
It's not a
It's law.
suggestion.
Huh?
It's referred to as policy and procedure by
Yeah,
the town
policy and
administrator.
procedure, not law.
Policy, if
No, this
it
is
went
law.
to
We're
court,
doing by the law.
the town administrator says policy and procedure, how would that go?
No, it falls down when it comes here. We just do what we want because the law says we can, and that's it.
Okay.
It's true. What do you,
You
I
said,
don't know what we're here
thank you.
for.
Does anyone else have anything to
I'd like to hear
say?
from some of the other members of the...
Okay.
Speaking as the chair of the
Can
planning
you
commission,
please?
Erica Berner, speaking as the chair of the planning commission and correcting Mr. Ferguson on Front Porch Forum, I would also like to state that the planning commission, which, while we don't have a budget, I think is just as useful as the recreation committee, has also had a non-resident on it. And we took that non-resident because that non-resident, A, much in the same situation, was a resident of Wallingford and coincidentally moved into Rutland. B, was a Little League coach for Wallingford at the time. And C, perhaps even more important, had city planning experience. So I fail to understand, as a resident now, what the big deal is. Quite frankly, if you look at the town's budget in the town report, the maximum amount of money that I think they have discretionary is maybe $3,000 to spend because it's on salaries, it's on maintenance, it's already set for. That's one. Secondly, looking at the history of what this individual has done in the past year as a volunteer for this community, I frankly think it's a slap in her face for her to be subjected to this. Now, my other question is, has anybody asked, besides being a non-resident, why is there such a big problem about having her on the committee? She...
By 100 feet, she's a non-resident.
Exactly. She grew up in this town. She went to Wallingford. In fact, I think one of her former teachers is in the audience.
Town plows her driveway, or her road.
The town plows her driveway. The town also delivers her mail. And as far as I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, she's a caregiver for her grandmother. why would somebody like that not be welcomed on a committee? I fail to understand that, and as a resident, I would like to know.
The town setting precedent, and the precedent will carry other committees.
The precedent has been set.
And now's the time to address it.
We've had out-of-town residents. You do, it is your policy in writing.
It doesn't make any difference
No,
about policy.
excuse me, it does.
Whoa.
Is it in writing?
Oh.
Because if it is not in writing, it is
It's your
historical
policy,
precedent.
it's not ours.
It is your
You're not
policy.
supposed to have all the back and forth. Just so you know how these meetings are conducted, comments are directed to the chair of the select board. There's not supposed to be back and forth.
Right, there's not
The
supposed
chair
to be
will
back and
recognize
forth.
somebody to make a comment, they make their comment, and that's it. There's not questions and answers
Exactly.
back and
There's
forth.
no
That's not how this
questioning.
works.
We should not be having
This
this
isn't a
back and
free
forth.
for
As a
all.
matter of
We shouldn't
fact,
be
public
talking-
comment is until the end of
We
the
shouldn't
agenda.
be talking about personal things.
No,
We should be
Right.
objective about, the issue is residency.
right.
And we appointed a non-resident person. Did we do it illegally? No, we did it legally, and we're not gonna change it. So, we can talk about how much Heather is good and needs to do it, or how much policy has to go on, but we've already decided she's gonna be on the committee. And that's that.
Do we have further comment? Anyone else?
I'm Denise Eddy, the co-chair of the Conservation Commission, and I just wanted to say that if I came across someone with the commitment, the drive, the energy, the enthusiasm of what Heather brings to town here, the Conservation Committee would be thrilled to have her.
And I do want to say, we did not do this to upset policy and procedure. We did this because of the character of the person who did want to step forward. We did not know that there was such a strong opinion continuing with the rec committee about this appointment. And because there wasn't anyone who was on recreation at this meeting, we couldn't get that input during the meeting, so we made our decision based on the information that we had in front of us at that meeting. I do hear what you're saying. I hope you can hear what I'm saying as well.
Can I comment quickly?
Yes.
Last thing here, because I really do feel it's this way, that's why this room is so full. And you can read back through our minutes, our emails to Sandy, to the select board. The character of Heather has never been in question. She's a good volunteer. She came to a lot of meetings for a long time. She is on the Wallingford Day Committee, which is a subcommittee because it is. Okay? That's well and great. Okay? That has never been the point here. The point here is the committee said no, and it's a dangerous precedent to have a non-resident on there. So anything else is completely defamatory, especially online comments regarding sexist decisions.
And we're not going to have.
No, we're not going to go.
Okay. Okay. Hand in the back first.
Nan Dubin. I would just like to say that what I heard on Front Porch Forum was that there was somebody who was basically illegally appointed to the committee. That the bylaws stated that somebody who isn't a resident couldn't be on the committee. So I thought, okay, well, if that's true, then this person shouldn't be on the committee. But because I now hear that that isn't true, that it is not part of the rec committee bylaws, that the person must be a resident, I think that's the end of this discussion. If the rec committee wants to work on those bylaws and change things, they are welcome to do that. But right now, we're arguing whether this person is legally allowed to be on the committee, and it sounds like she is.
You know,
Please state name.
Michael Luzader, town resident, troublemaker. You know, I don't know who to direct this question to, but if this supposedly sets dangerous precedent, how does it really set dangerous precedent? I mean, what are we afraid of? We afraid of people stepping up to volunteer to help the town? You know, I mean, this person's looking to do some good. And if we have people that are looking to help the community, I fail to see that that could bring danger to the town of Wallingford, or it could set poor precedent. I don't know who among you can answer that, but it falls short on me to understand that that's a bad move.
Yes.
Peg Soul. I'd also like to clarify that for policy and procedure to say that the committee will make a recommendation to the select board and the select board will act on it only means that the select board will take action. It doesn't mean that the select board will approve it. It just means that they will either approve or deny it or postpone a decision. But taking action, will act on it, means that you'll just make a decision.
Yes or
It
no.
doesn't mean that you're going to agree with the recommendation of the committee.
State name,
I see the gentleman's point, but,
state name, please.
Tom Barone, I see the gentleman's point, but I'd just like to make a caution that as a taxpayer, I'm always worried somebody from out of town having say-so in spending my tax dollars when they don't have skin in the game. Now, I don't know who this person is, and I don't care. But as a cautionary note, I would just say maybe a policy, a procedure, a whatever needs to be done to limit the number of non-residents on a board. You certainly don't want to get to a point where the majority are now non-residents spending taxpayer dollars. So just a cautionary note there.
And actually, that was a point I was thinking of bringing up, that it can always be included in bylaws that you limit it to, say, one member, one non-resident member. And I know of other Wallingford committees that do such a thing.
To his point, we do, we make our own mind up. If we see, I don't think we need a policy, because we are concerned as you are about something wrong happening here. We're concerned as you are. And we are not gonna load up any board. And we appoint people for the reasons that are good, not anything else. And we can dismiss anybody for no reason by law. So that's the control we have, and that's the control we need. And we did this in good faith to the taxpayers who are on there. And we're not going back. I mean, there's no reason to.
Okay. I think we stated that. Do we have anything else that needs to be said at this time? Okay.
Can I just, I'll just throw in a
Yes.
comment. I think, you know, the policy states, as several people have said, that the rec committee will make a recommendation and that the board will act on it. I think that's stated that way to give us some discretion. And I think in this, with the understanding that we'll approach things on a case-by-case basis, candidates for various committees on a case-by-case basis. And I think it's the merit of the candidate plays some role in here. I mean, it's not written into the law, but the discretion is written into the statutes that we will make a judgment call, and that's part of that's going to be based on the merits of the candidate. And I think the number of people in here tonight certainly says something about the merit of the candidate, and I think we all felt that the merit of the candidate was very positive, and so we exercised that discretion. And I think there's nothing inherently that going against any precedent or policy that doesn't allow us to do that.
I'm good. I said my point.
Sandy, do you want the sign-in sheet, because there's a lot of new people?
If you haven't signed, you can just, sign it before, I think I put your name down, Brian. I put your name down. I put Michael's name down. You could just pass it around if somebody hasn't signed or there's a name on it.
So if you haven't signed, if you'll
11
please
out.
sign your name. I think we've ended our discussion on this topic this evening. Thank you for coming and stating what you needed to state. And we do really thank the Recreation Committee for everything that the committee does and will continue to do. Thank you. Okay. We are going to be moving on in our agenda. We are on to number 9, letter to VTrans regarding Bridge 15.
You've seen the edit, Glenn helped us with the letter. And I like it where it is now, but there was another aspect to this in the scoping report, which is not good reading, fun reading, but it's 137 pages long.
It's painful.
And on page 117, there's a questionnaire.
Yep.
And 123.
Right, and I sent you her response. She said, we don't need anybody to fill it out. They think
They
that.
don't need anything on the questionnaire.
Yep.
So, they don't want the questionnaire.
Nope, they said they had enough feedback from the public hearing.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think if we're all in agreement on it, we probably should print it up and send it. Maybe wait till next meeting so we can get 5 signatures on it.
Better just get it there.
Or time for us to do some more additions to it.
Okay, I think we have a question over here.
There are some residents here who have feedback on that letter, myself included.
So, Sandra and,
Deno.
Mark, your son, asked for copies of Rob's letter, so I sent them both. So they have copies of Rob's letter.
And is this of the revised?
The revised?
No, they have a copy of Rob's. They don't have the revised because you all haven't talked about the revised yet.
Okay,
Well, we did that, that's mine.
okay.
I think you put something in about the flooding of the,
I did include the stuff about, because a couple of people said that bridge on over 140 will be submerged before the one on, the one that's been washed out. Sorry, the one that's
Yes.
needs to be repaired.
under the gun about this.
No,
Another-
no, not at all. No.
That was just, it was another point. Rob made some points in favor of restoring that bridge in East Wallingford. But one of the points that I added was a couple of people had said that bridge holds up better in flooding situations than the one over 140.
So, quick question. I just got a glimpse of the letter as it is after the last meeting, which I was unable to attend. Dennis Contro, resident in East Wallingford. The amended letter came out after the last meeting,
Right.
but is being presented before there's comment, is what you were talking about?
I emailed, what is your name?
Dennis Contro.
Okay, Dennis. So after the last meeting, they tabled the matter, and Rob asked anybody who wanted to make amendments to
At
the
the
letter
end of
to
the last
notify him.
meeting.
After, there was a February 2nd meeting.
Okay.
Rob presented a draft of a letter he wanted to send to VTrans.
Which I believe I
They
seen.
looked at it, and he offered anybody to make comments or amendments to it before tonight's meeting, and Glenn did. He made some comments.
Okay.
He sent me the email, and I distributed that email to the select board.
So
they've
ask
had
the board
it.
if they had anything to offer in
Yeah,
comments.
so they can decide like which language they like and amend, combine, or whatever they want to do.
Okay. So is there public comment allowed now
That's up to Kathy.
on the amended letter that nobody else has seen?
Should I read the amended letter?
I think that would be appropriate.
Okay. So here, to VTrans from Wallingford Select Board, subject Wallingford BFO 133, Vermont Route 155, Bridge 15 over Mill River Scoping Report. Dear VTrans, following the January 20th, 26th hearing at Wallingford Town Hall, and after living with the Bridge 15 detour for 2 years, we wish to share our findings about this project. This bridge is an important part of our town's transportation system. The need for this structure is as valid now as it was in 1940 when it was built to replace a steel bridge. 3 alternatives have been presented to address the bridge closing due to its being in an unsafe condition. 1, disinvestment, permanent closure of the bridge. 2, build a pedestrian bridge which would need to be maintained by the town of Wallingford. 3, replacement of the bridge. Alternative 1, permanent closure poses problems that cannot, in our opinion, be mitigated. The intersection at routes 103 and 140 has critical safety concerns even after recent updates. These concerns come from people who have both driven trucks through the intersection as well as observed the traffic patterns there. Point. Semi-trailer trucks and even large straight trucks have trouble entering Route 140 from the northwest. If vehicles are stopped at the intersection to turn left on Route 103, trucks can't make a turn to get through the intersection unless those vehicles back up. Snow and ice make the situation especially treacherous. There is no room for a turning lane. Point 2. Visibility of Route 103 from the intersection is limited in both directions. The speed limit of 50 miles per hour is often ignored, adding to an already dangerous condition. Alternative 2, a pedestrian bridge, is an option that was easy to reject. The town is not equipped to maintain a pedestrian bridge. The benefit would be limited to a small number of people from our community and does not justify the expense of upkeep. Alternative 3, replacement of the bridge would mitigate the hazardous conditions mentioned above, allowing vehicles traveling southbound on Route 103 to avoid the current intersection. The bridge also provides an important alternative access to East Wallingford in the event of flooding on Mill River, as the existing bridge on 140 generally becomes submerged well before Bridge 15. Other benefits include improved response of emergency vehicles and better access for mail and other deliveries. Replacement of the bridge is the best and most viable solution to the situation. And that's the revised letter.
That's the edited one, that's with your stuff?
Yes, this is
Okay.
the revised letter.
That's the edit?
That's the edit.
Okay.
Yes.
How many of the drivers that experience this in trucks are residents and do it multiple times per day? How many times per day do you do it, sir?
Oh, I do it sometimes 4 or 5 times a day.
Okay. And you come down 140 and intersect with 103
Correct.
to turn left or right?
Turn left usually.
Okay, so the concern here is heading northwest, or from the northwest direction, turning right onto 140, is it not? That you're not able to go into that turn without proceeding into the opposite lane. That's what's stated in this letter.
Either direction, whether you stay in the lines on which would be towards Rutland, or coming from Rutland, you cannot stay in the lines, not with a loaded truck.
What are you driving?
Log truck, tracks, a log truck and trailer.
Okay. So you're stating, just quick, I don't know if this is allowed, just a little bit. So if-
Just to say yes.
Okay. So, all right, so, I personally drive through that intersection no less than 2 times per day in the school bus from Mount Holly and Ludlow. I have 0 concerns with turning left or right out of there, and it's less articulate than a log truck. Turning left or right in either direction, whether it be onto 140 or onto 103.
So no concern,
None whatsoever, other than line of sight due to signage.
but line of sight because of signage.
To the north, heading off of 140 would be my only concern. At best, you've got at least 1/10 of a mile in either direction for line of sight, which is clear, even on a foggy day. The biggest concern is the sun glare headed east or south. in the morning.
Okay.
That's the only concern for me. And I do it multiple times a day, loaded with pretty good cargo.
Yes.
Ever drove a big truck?
I have a
Now-
Class A license, sir.
I need a
Okay,
big truck, I'll load it.
I never have.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
but we had this in our last
Yep,
discussion. There's not supposed to be a back and
No,
forth.
I understand.
Things are addressed here and not,
So, again, I suppose the intersection was redesigned when the bridge was decommissioned to allow for travel for loaded trucks in any direction, specifically heading from the northwest southeast. And the radius with which they opened it up to makes it perfectly capable to make that turn. The alternative to that would have been continuing across 155 and intersecting with 140, which would be a 90-degree turn, which you cannot possibly navigate without entering into the other lane of travel, and is less safe than doing it the way that it's been configured now.
because it looked to me from the maps that the state showed at the, when they did their presentation, that traffic coming down
Coming
from
from
Rutland,
Rutland, yep.
going towards Ludlow.
Sure.
When it turned, a large tractor trailer would be in the other lane and traffic would back up. And that was on their own line map.
To your point, I have sat there.
Hold on one
Okay,
second.
go ahead.
Did you finish your comment?
Yeah, we're good.
Tom Barone, to your point, I have had to back up to allow a tractor trailer to make that turn headed east on 103 to west on 140. Now, maybe it's an individual driver issue, but he wasn't making that turn, just sitting there blocking the eastbound traffic on 103, waiting for traffic backed up to get onto 103 from 140, had to back up so the truck could make the turn. So I've seen that happen multiple times.
Back up to get on 103?
Correct.
Other comments?
Yes, I have several comments and questions. My name is Sandra Hochberg. Has anyone from I'm allowed to ask you questions, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Has anyone from the select board visited the site?
Visited the bridge?
The bridge, the Sitco, and the intersection of 103 and 140?
Yeah.
I drive it regularly.
Okay. What was the traffic count in 1940?
Oh,
What is the traffic count today?
they have that information.
Brian, I'll yield to you in a few minutes. I'm not done with my questions.
5,500 cars a day.
How many houses are on Village Street? How many residents are in Village Street, including children?
Residents.
Residences, I suppose.
Residents is,
I haven't counted them.
So how many?
I'm asking you.
Oh,
Because my point of your letter is that it is incredibly one-sided. You do not take into consideration at all the safety and the traffic that is on Village Street. You don't take into consideration how wide the street is, how close our houses are. You don't, how many times have mailboxes on Village Street been damaged? How many times have residents on Village Street had problems pulling out? How many times have motorcycles been drag racing down our street? How many times have I been passed turning into my driveway on Village Street? None of these safety considerations are being taken into consideration at all. You're looking at a bridge that was built in 1940 when there was probably 50 cars a day down that street. It's completely different now. In addition, the last time that the VTrans was here and gave their presentation, they specifically and repeatedly asked for suggestions on how to make the 103 and 140 and just 103 in general safer. I didn't see one suggestion from anyone in that letter. Not one suggestion of lowering the speed limit, perhaps installing a yellow light, repainting the lines, correcting the signage. And so I'm really, really disappointed in that. I feel that only those who have, quite frankly, yelled the loudest are the ones getting any consideration. And those of us who have tried to approach it professionally and kindly, taking into account the safety of people pulling in and out of the Sitco, of those who live on 103, I've tried to take that into consideration, and not one person has taken into consideration the safety and quality of life on our village street. This isn't 1940 anymore.
So, Sandra?
Yes.
I would say that you would strongly suggest option 2.
Which is?
Build a pedestrian bridge.
No, I think the pedestrian bridge, quite frankly, is a waste of money also.
So basically,
I think the bridge should be disinvested.
Permanent closure.
Absolutely.
I just want to
And
be
I am not
clear
the
which
only
option.
person. You stated that only people on Village Street want the street to remain closed. And I think that is also disingenuous. There are many people throughout the community who value that we have a community on Village Street, that we have safety on Village Street, and people don't mind driving the 30 seconds around. It's not just those of us on Village Street. This is millions of dollars of our taxpayer money.
$20+ million.
And you're going to spend all this money, and it's not going to solve the problem of 103 and 140. You're going to spend however many $1 million to rebuild that bridge, and 103, people are still going to speed on it. There's been, this just doesn't make sense to me. I feel that everything that is said about 103 and 140, the exact same things can be said about the safety of our street. And it's just turning into a tit for tat, and there's no problem solving. There's not one suggestion in your letter of how to improve 103 and 140, the intersection.
Yes.
Hi, Nan Dubin. I've lived here 30 years in East Wallingford, and that bridge has been there the whole time I've lived here. So people who've moved onto that street were aware that there was a bridge there and that traffic would be going by. I've never seen anybody speed on that street because it's rather short. I mean, it's not a long street, so you can't.
You don't live there.
Excuse me. So,
I'm fair, sorry.
So, my feeling is, right now, the way the road was fixed at that corner, they cannot fix the switchback nature of those two roads. Those two roads basically parallel each other. So they have widened it. Even regular cars come into the opposite lane, not just trucks, but trucks too, because that's a terrible turn. It is also the case that if I'm trying to go into Rutland and I'm watching those cars come down and they are not going 55, they're going very fast, and by the time you pull out, somebody who you didn't see is right behind you. We were told at that first meeting that the bridge would cost $20,000.
$20 million.
$20 million. And now I heard at the last meeting, which I couldn't attend, it's going to cost $5 million to replace it. I don't know what the truth of the amount is, but I do know that Wallingford residents are not on the hook for that. It's the feds and the state. And so.
Just on state taxes.
Okay, so state taxes. It's not a burden on just Wallingford or East Wallingford.
Right.
So my feeling is, for those of us who've used the bridge forever, and it's very convenient, and the turning point now is just not very safe, I think that this letter makes sense, that we should rebuild the bridge. And I do feel badly for people who live on that street, but when they moved to that street, there was a bridge on it. And the traffic may have been different in 1940, but none of us lived here then. Well, maybe some of us did. So everybody here has been dealing with the traffic flow the last 10, 20 years, whatever it is on that street. Everybody knew what it was. If you bought a house there, you probably paid attention to that. When I pull out of my driveway, I have to look to see who's coming. A lot of us do. That's not that unusual. So I like the idea of the letter.
Thank you for that. I think Mr. Barker's next.
It's a lot, but reading the scoping report, 137 pages, shows you how much detail the state goes into scoping projects. Whenever they're gonna go something, they're gonna go history, hazardous waste, historical, you name it, safety, archaeology. They gave us 3 options. One was take it away, don't have it. One was the pedestrian bridge, and one was replace the bridge. And there are plans for the bridge in here already, and if they do build the bridge, they're gonna build it 4 feet wider for safety. So they do think about those things. And if we as the state don't build a bridge there, it's gonna get built in Tunbridge or Royalton. This is part of Vermont infrastructure, just like the select board has to take care of our class 3 roads, the state has to take care of their roads. And they're just trying to find out how we feel about it. And we want the bridge back.
Can I just say something? I want to just address some things that you said, Sandra, because I don't have that much history with this, but there was a hearing a couple of weeks ago where VTrans came, and so I was there and got a lot of information about this from that. And my impression from that meeting that it was people were sort of overwhelmingly wanting the bridge to be restored. I didn't hear that much from your standpoint, from people on Village Street that they were not at the meeting or didn't speak up. And so we did hear a lot of the suggestions for improving that intersection, but we made the decision not to put them in the letter because we didn't feel that that's what the public opinion was going for. It's not like we said like, oh, we'll shove those people aside. We just, at that meeting, we weren't hearing that kind of input. So we're hearing it now, so.
But the state repeatedly asked for suggestions to improve that intersection, of which, whether the bridge is rebuilt or not, should still be done. And it's like you just want to, I feel like there's no, you're going to widen the bridge, so I assume that means widen the street. So how are you going to guarantee our safety?
No, it doesn't mean widening the street.
What's the purpose of widening the bridge?
It's a state road, the town is responsible for.
The
state would have to widen it.
And I have a question, because it's been a while since the bridge has been there, and I used to drive down that way. Well, I drive that way actually quite often, still do. Did there used to be, are there stop signs? When there was a functioning bridge there, was there a stop sign?
Yes.
On the ends of the streets, on both sides?
There's a stop sign across Route 103.
Okay.
As you came from, headed, through, say, north through the village street to 103, there was a stop sign on the opposite side of the road.
Okay.
So everybody had to stop, yes.
So it's not like there isn't any safety measures happening. There is a stop sign at the end of both roads. I know, I happen to live here on 140, right as 140 is coming into town. I understand exactly what you're saying about traffic being much too fast in both directions. Our cat right now is an indoor cat because we've lost so many cats to our road because of traffic traveling too. I totally understand what you're saying about the safety of coming in, about traffic moving on to one of these major roads. And I do take safety very, very seriously. So please know I hear what you're saying, and that we want to make whatever happens as safe as we possibly can.
So I guess to that end, you live on 140 uphill and down in the center of town. Village Street 155, where the bridge is closed now, is not, there's no intervention slowing you entering Village Street if you're heading south into Ludlow.
That's what I was wondering.
You're going from a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit onto a 35-mile-an-hour street that's maybe a tenth of a mile long.
Although isn't it 35 miles
no.
when I come in?
30 mile an hour.
When I come into.
By max?
From
By
one-
max, it's still 50.
Yeah, it's 50, but once you get onto Village
Right,
Street.
so you're going, you're gonna take a log truck, a loaded log truck doing 50 miles an hour, turning right at a bias with no speed intervention whatsoever, onto a 30-mile-an-hour road that's maybe a tenth of a mile long, and expect them to be down to 30 coming off of a 50, with residents, dogs, cats, children, everything running around.
I just give a comment on that. Coming into that bridge at over 20 miles an hour with a loaded log truck, you would roll over.
What's the speed limit, sir?
Excuse me?
What's
Not the back and forth.
No, I'm just saying, you can't do it. It's not a possibility.
So there is a stop sign entering 103, heading north onto 103, right? Village Street, intersecting with 103, you'd be turning left to head north. It is physically impossible to make a left-hand turn in a straight truck or a tractor trailer without entering into the opposite lane to get squared to that road to see traffic coming from the south. Physically impossible.
With the
Mirrors
bridge.
or not.
With the bridge?
Where the bridge is, on the end with the bridge. You cannot square up to the intersection without crossing over into the other lane. In my experience.
And you've had your hand up for a while.
Hallelujah.
Sorry.
That's all right. Leanne Dano, Village, I live on Village Street. I've lived on Village Street for 65 years. I would be interested to know what the traffic on Village Street in 1985, then 1995, then 2005, 2015, 2025. I would like to know how it's amped up over the years, because I would say starting in the 2000s is when traffic on my street got horrendous. And when I heard that there was no speeding on that street, when I had my driver's license, hell, when I was in my 20s, I would just gun it to get up to the post office. Everybody does it. You got these cars, like you said, coming off of 103, having to slow down from 50 to 30 miles an hour, which is the speed limit on Village Street. Now, if they're putting back a bridge, you said that they're widening the bridge. So, big deal, they're widening the bridge. You're still gonna come onto our narrow street. There's no shoulders to our street.
2 feet on each side, that's how much.
Yes, it doesn't matter though, Rob, because when you're coming, have you walked Village Street? None of you have been to Village Street to see the bridge? You have?
Of course.
Yes.
You guys have seen the bridge?
Yes.
Okay.
I asked earlier.
And you said there was
you
no
drive
answer.
it.
I said yes.
I didn't see any of you say yes, so my apologies.
I mean, it was a while ago that when it happened, when the bridge collapsed, I drove out there and walked up.
Now, Vermont Transportation, I'm assuming, sanctioned not opening the bridge because of safety factors, and why they bought some land from the people that, well, Bruno's used to own it. I don't know who owns that corner piece now. They bought land off of them to widen that intersection.
Yes.
Now, there was talk at the February 2nd meeting about maybe when you're coming home from Rutland, okay, you're heading towards Ludlow, here's our turn, you know, doing something with that street. There's a lot more room to widen on 103 than there is on Village Street. Put a lane. Somebody suggested putting a lane for right-hand turns to go on to that narrow turn. You know, there's other suggestions. Like I said, I would really love to know the numbers of traffic on Village Street versus 103, because Village Street had a lot more traffic. It was, I forgot the numbers now, but say 1,500.
And I think.
And Village Street, I'm sorry, it was the other way around. 663 for 103, which is at 50 miles an hour, but there was 1,600 on Village Street
Yeah, the
for the
numbers
same 24-hour period in 2018.
The numbers I heard the woman say were 1,200 cars on Village Street and in excess of 5,000 cars a
No.
day on 103.
No, not since the bridge closed.
I got, oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying, is there anyone else who has wanted to make a comment who hasn't been able to?
Oh,
You just remembered.
I just remembered. There was talk of that little bridge. I know which one you're talking about. That, to my knowledge, and I also like to know information on this, the little bridge that washed out. It's right between the cemetery and the other bridge where the 155 is. The bridge that we're currently discussing, that has washed out twice. Once in 1978 and currently. I have pictures to prove it. It was Hurricane Agnes, maybe. There was a hurricane that came through and that bridge was out of commission for a long time. I'm done.
Yes.
Yeah, as far as the rebuilding
Name,
of,
please?
Naomi Bombardi Wilson, as far as the rebuilding of the bridge, and besides making it 2 feet wider or on either side, was there discussion about making it higher or anything like that, because it has been washed out, and with climate change and more flooding happening, what would stop it from being washed out again real soon? And then as far as the 103, 140 junction, like, was there any talk about putting a yield light? Because I know when you're coming from Ludlow, you know, say you have a momentary daydream, suddenly that road is right upon you and it's like, oh my gosh, right, and you have to make a left, and it is like a very strange thing. If there was a light there, maybe would that help with people slowing down in time to make the turn correctly and not have to go into another?
Yeah, that came up at the meeting that we had. And I think from what Sandy was saying earlier, the people from VTrans recorded all this stuff, those suggestions. And that there was, somebody mentioned a turning lane, someone mentioned a caution light. There was a bunch of stuff.
Was there a suggestion of a reduced speed?
Yes, because I've suggested it and I'm still looking for it.
I would agree with that suggestion as well, that there should be a reduced speed.
Yeah, regardless of what happens with the bridge, I agree.
If they're not going to replace the bridge, and even in the meantime, if it's going to be 6 years or plus before they do it, I would like to see the speed limit lowered, some signs changed, and I'd like to see some regrading of 103, so I don't have to look at a hollow spot in the road. I can't see the cars till they're on top of me.
And that was, yes, I remember you bringing that up at the meeting. Yes.
I would just like to say, and I know we're not supposed to speak directly to each other, but Mr. Barona, I did send an email to Laura Stone, the project engineer, saying that that they do need to put hidden driveway signs there. I don't know if people still use those like convex mirror things, if they're effective, like, I don't know, I'm not a road engineer, but I did send that because all of these suggestions need to be done, whether or not the bridge is rebuilt. My main concern was that I just really felt that the letter that you, as a select board, was sending to the VTrans was incredibly one-sided.
I'm sorry, I wasn't finished.
Okay.
Actually.
I just want to say, if the state is the one that's going to decide this, if they go with disinvestment, they're going to come down the end of Village Street and they're going to eminent domain take enough land to make a cul-de-sac for a plow truck to turn around.
Yes, again, I shouldn't be I don't want to fully speak for my neighbor, but our neighbor who lives there and owns a tree business, he is in full support of that. The state trucks can turn around in his lane now, and yeah, I mean, they can turn around, and he's in full support of that, because it's dangerous for him to pull his truck out onto Village Street when the bridge is open.
Okay.
When
I think.
Sorry.
Sorry. Here first?
Yeah, no, when I was actually looking at places here in Wallingford, one of the things I did notice and freaked me out was watching a Mack truck barrel down that street at a ridiculously high speed, which is why I didn't want a place on that street. And it's happened even after they closed the bridge, when they turned around and were like just gunning it. And that, so it
it's pretty narrow, and I would find it really frightening to have a child and live on a street with that bridge open.
Okay.
Signage change and whatnot, speed limits, as everybody knows that lives in Vermont, are just suggestions to those that are willing to bypass that. So putting up a 35 or a 45 in any of these lanes, like driving through Cuttingsville, you know, nobody 35 miles an hour, I set my cruise control at 37. Oops. But, you know, 2 miles an hour over, but I do it every single morning and every single afternoon. But they are just recommendations, and I'd be hard pressed to tell you that the majority of people abide by them.
Just, I'm trying to just level set here. This letter, which Rob drafted, I helped revise, and was it going to be sent in response to a certain question on VTrans's questionnaire?
Oh, no, the questionnaire, they're
Like what-
saying we don't need it.
Okay,
They
so,
have enough.
so what is the,
There's no value.
like, I guess, what is the end goal of this letter? Like, is it just to express our opinion as a
It's to let them
town?
know that we want the bridge.
Okay, so it doesn't fit in,
So it's
it's,
basically
But
another
they're
opinion.
going to do what they find is best for the.
okay, so it's just,
It's from my understanding.
it's sort of
This
a
letter
letter
will
of
If we
opinion.
said nothing, they're gonna do whatever they want.
Right, right.
They would love it if we said nothing.
Well, and with the letter, they might just do what they want
They
as
will
well.
do what they want, but, I feel like it's our responsibility to, ask them to maintain their existing
I guess, yeah.
highway system infrastructure.
I see that. I guess we just need to get
Yes.
comfortable that we're representing the town in this letter, or we're,
Yes.
you know, or.
I think
The
Yes.
town as a whole, including East Wallingford Village Street.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
And that's what I'm thinking as well.
Because it's like, we're obviously not representing all the diversity of opinions of the town. I don't know if we, you know, how much we have to put into this letter, but I think that's what we need to think about. If we're gonna send this letter,
Yes,
do we feel like we're representing the town?
yes. That's what we need to consider.
that bridge washed out in the 38 hurricane. There was a steel bridge there, and it took them 2 years, and they built that, but they didn't think, oh, we don't need it.
Yeah, well, that's all.
And it gets used.
I was after the previous select board administration to tell me, did you send a yay or nay to the state of Vermont? And could not get an answer.
A what? Send a what?
A yay or a nay, up or down on the bridge.
Oh, no.
And I could not get an answer from them. So, that's
from the
my
state?
point here, is the town needs to take a stand.
Yes.
They need to be in our pocket or not. Mine anyways, I want the bridge. So, I thank you for going this route to at least let the state know that we're not gonna sit idly by and throw more money in Colchester's figure eight or whatever they got, or wherever else they're throwing the money. We pay taxes too. You know, they did not fix the Lincoln Hill turnoff. The people in Lincoln Hill wanted a left turn lane. They didn't do that for them. They were years ago gonna buy the little white house just north of the trestle and straighten that corner out. That got shot down. They were supposed to fix all the hummocks and stuff in the road when they did the repaving or smoothing, I'll call it, years ago. They've done absolutely nothing for our section of the state. I want some of our money back. So,
They tried to get us to buy the bridge before it collapsed.
as it was said, the original comment's $20 million, now it's $4 million for Walking Bridge. I don't see the numbers adding up. Now, traffic has increased greatly by my house. We don't sit on our deck anymore. There's so much traffic, I can't hear myself think anymore. So we don't sit on the deck anymore. I want the bridge because for me, it's safer to turn right, as I've done since I moved there in 1981, and then turn through the village. I have never seen the high-speed traffic people that live there every day may see. But you don't see the 60 or 65 mile an hour traffic going by my house either. You know, no, I can't tell you that's how fast they go, but that's how fast it seems, you know?
So I think we've got a lot to take into consideration.
I think
Yes.
just one final thing.
Okay.
The main stand that you're taking on this is that it's a safety concern to enter or exit that intersection without the bridge. Have you done a traffic study and determined how many accidents have been there since that bridge has been closed? Because I looked today on the state website, it's actually an app that you can look it up on, and it's available to anybody, and it's very few, and none of them have involved trucks at that intersection. So the safety concern for trucking, which is what you're stating, is not the issue. Just
Is it possible to send another motion to VTrans about all these things being really, the number one thing that's important to everyone is the slowing the speed limit signage, putting a light there, doing everything possible to make that intersection as safe. And I mean, I can hear the traffic up, up on Fieldstone Way. And I know I can hear it because they're going way faster than they're supposed to be going. So, asking VTrans to put in, like, to lower the speed limit coming from Ludlow, like down that hill to say 35 before allowing it to go back up to 50 around the gas station or whatever.
Just one quick comment. I don't live on Village Street. I don't live on 155. I do live right off 103. The speed is insane. I have to tell you, the intersection is not wonderful the way it is now, but take a left going north off that bridge when there's a truck rolling around the corner by the gas station, and you gotta put your foot to the floor and pray to take a left. I don't miss that intersection.
like with the bridge that's closed, you're saying?
With the bridge that's closed, I don't miss taking a left.
And it's
off
impossible to do it without squaring up to 103.
I don't miss
Going
it.
into the other lane, literally
I
impossible.
never even realized that bridge was two-way, I thought it was one-way. God bless you.
And I live in East Wallingford.
And I've lived here for years.
Well, this
Okay.
letter isn't in stone either, and we're gonna continue working on it and
Yep.
maybe add some more safety considerations.
One quick.
And, your point about, I don't like the sense that says the only people who don't want the bridge live on Village Street. That's wrong. We have to do something else about that.
The speed limit is 35 miles an hour at the blinking yellow light at Belmont. There's been more accidents there than there have at that intersection in the past year. And beyond. Just saying. You've got traffic intervention and signage as well as a blinking light and more accidents there with better line of sight.
If they ever build a new bridge, put a couple of speed bumps in the middle of Village Street. They do that in Fort Ann. It works wonderful on that cutoff,
It does.
Put a couple of
That
speed
would
bumps.
slow them down.
I went tractor trailers going over speed
It's
bumps
a
in my
state
movie.
road, they have to do it.
Believe me, after doing it once, they'll be going slow enough, they won't do it again. So,
I'm just kind of curious, if Sandra hadn't called me tonight, I would have known nothing about this letter. I was under the assumption at the February 2nd meeting, per the Vermont transportation people that were there, right? Laura was there. They were asking for suggestions on how to make that intersection better. They weren't asking, do you want the bridge back? I thought that was a done deal. The bridge was not going to be rebuilt because of, number one, the cost, and number two, the safety, which Vermont Transportation did the safety on it. And they're the ones who said this bridge should not be opened.
Well, after
After
the public meeting, at our next select board meeting, before the next select board meeting, we got word that Rob had written a letter.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was, I think it was posted in the agenda, wasn't it?
It was certainly posted in the minutes of the February 2nd meeting. It was posted on this agenda, which is on the website, and was posted on Front Porch Forum, this agenda, that this letter was going to be discussed. Also
I
in the
didn't see it
minutes of
on the
meeting, they're
Front
always on the
Porch
website.
Forum.
It was
Anything that's
included in
good.
the select board minutes, so you would have had to read through the minutes in order to know.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
I mean, I think a subject that is important to this that impacts a lot of people, both on the street and off the street.
Well, I'm
Should be
glad-
made a little bit more,
Okay.
you know.
I am glad you got the word and you were able to speak
Do you
here.
follow
this
Front
evening.
Porch Forum?
Yes.
Okay, because the agenda was posted on Front Porch Forum about the letter.
When?
Uh,
I mean, I just joined within the last 2 weeks. I really don't know.
Well, it was,
Sandra told me
the
that.
agenda went out last week, so it was posted on Front Porch Forum last week, the agenda.
I'll have to pay
Yeah,
more
so,
attention.
yeah, just, because it'll say agenda, it won't say bridge discussion, it'll say agenda. So you have to read through the entire agenda to know what
Okay.
was discussed.
Thank you, Kathy.
Sure. Okay. Is there,
And we can't change the agenda either. Once we put stuff on there, it's really hard to, at the last minute, put something on or even take it off. I mean,
February 12th, that was when it was posted on Front Porch Forum. I'm looking at it, that.
Yeah, I was on there.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
okay, any other comments?
So, we know this letter isn't really binding or anything like that, but we're trying to put something together that we feel is a good expression of the town. So there's gonna be more revisions to this letter then?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
And then,
We need to revise a letter.
yeah, and put it out for the public.
Yes. Yeah,
Next meeting is town meeting, right?
It won't be that meeting.
so it won't be that meeting, it won't be the next meeting, because next meeting's town meeting. So the
Can I
meeting
ask
after?
Like March 16th.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
From the first VTrans meeting we had upstairs to the last one, did the tone in their message change? Because I kind of remember it that we kind of had a say-so whether we took over Village Street or not, if they did not do the bridge. In the last message from them, I kind of got the tone where we didn't get a choice. They were going to do away with the bridge and you had to take the street. That's a tone I kind of got from the
I think that was the indication at the very first meeting, was if they if they discontinued use of the bridge, that the town would absorb the maintenance
Well,
on
it sounded to me.
That was from day one.
From the first conversation, it sounded to me, and a couple others I've talked to, where the town would have a choice if they wanted to take the street over.
I don't think
And the
there's
town,
a
at that
choice.
time, there was a comment made from somebody that, no, we don't want to take the street over, we don't want to have that extra paving and maintenance and whatever. But in the last message from VTrans, it kind of sounded like, once the bridge goes away, the town gets the street. You didn't seem to have a choice. So, just as a point of question, read over their before and see if you find that same tone I did, because maybe they're sticking you with the street when they divest the bridge. Now, you've got all that maintenance on your own.
The pedestrian bridge was just like throwing us a bone, like,
Yes.
we're not gonna, they just wanted to say something other than yes or no on the bridge.
Another question is, on the Route 103 side of the bridge, who's gonna own and maintain that? Because I plow the driveway for the lady on the edge of the bridge, and I have to plow the highway, so she can get in and out sometimes, because they're so inept at doing it. And I can't tell you how many times she said she's called them. So I don't know if you're gonna run your truck over there to do that little bit afterwards or not.
They're gonna dump it in the town's lap, you watch.
Well, that's what I'm afraid of. Stuff's gonna get dumped.
That's what they're
you know,
saying.
So, just as,
That won't happen anyways until after they make a decision, so.
right.
that's-
Can I just make one comment? Because I'm pulling up the minutes from the April 3rd, 2023 public hearing, when we had that upstairs that you're referring to, and I can see that Sandra was there, and I know you were there. I know a lot of the same comments that were made at this most recent public hearing were made back then. So they heard residents' concerns about the speed on 103 and then requesting for signage on 103 and driveway signs. They heard all of those same suggestions, and then they made improvements to that intersection and didn't incorporate any of the suggestions that they've now heard twice. So I understand the frustration when you have these public hearings, they ask for your input. Like Joe Donahue gave the exact same suggestions in 23 years ago with the lights and Bruce Dobbins made the lights and the extra lane. All of those suggestions were made before they ever improved the intersection, and they didn't incorporate any of those things into it. So it is frustrating.
It is.
Can I just ask,
Perhaps-
are these things just being verbally said to them? They've never been put in writing from the town?
It was in a public
hearing.
meeting.
And, you know,
I
just
know
like
that.
they did the other night, at this latest public hearing, they're up there taking notes
Yes.
and
They
minutes,
recorded.
so.
There was a state rep here too.
It was the same, it was the
Yes.
same woman too.
But we as a town have
And in
never
the first
put
meeting
anything
as well.
in writing to them, like legally.
I think this is what we're doing now.
So that letter will be amended then to add in all these other suggestions that were discussed?
Will be amended. I don't know what the end
We don't
product's
know
gonna
what's gonna look like
but,
yet, but we have a lot to digest.
Yeah, yeah.
I will say thank you very much for your time. I think you allowed like 5 minutes for this letter discussion, and we've completely hijacked your evening. Thank you for allowing us to voice our opinions. Thank you.
Thanks for coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are now moving on. We are down to agenda building.
What's the next thing about a tower?
Did I skip something?
About what?
A tower? And I was just curious, is it the proposed one in East Wallingford?
That
Like
wasn't on tonight's agenda.
C-A-C-O.
Oh, no, that's property mapping for your property map maintenance.
Yeah, no, that's, yes.
Have a nice night.
Hi, Brian.
I missed the balloon test.
Oh, yeah, and so no,
I was
not
kind
the
of curious to
tower.
see what that looked like. Yeah, not that it matters. I don't have any service at the house, so.
Okay, agenda building?
We have a sufficient agenda for the next,
Yes.
considering our next one is the town meeting.
meeting.
Then we have, and then we have
Yeah.
a rebuilding.
Select board comments, concerns?
Right here,
Yes?
yes.
Oh, my gosh.
The select board member and his wife would like to acknowledge the nice thing that was done for Jane Quigley, because she's a lady who's done an awful lot and not wanted anything back in return. And Jill took it, I don't know if,
Jill took the photo, yeah.
yeah, but you guys decide this and decide this.
Well, it was my idea.
Yeah, well, we want to thank you for doing that.
Wonderful. Okay. Let's see, in other business, the annual town reports are being mailed out this week. The Cabin Fever Fun Day was a smashing success. And then RRPC is gearing up for the first public hearing, which is scheduled for March 17th, 2026, at the RRPC offices in Rutland.
Move to adjourn.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.